Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The cost of the shrine of Hassan Nasrallah costed $44 million to buy the burial place of that guy. In addition to this, $6 million to build and decorate the shrine, as you know, the way they adorn their shrines with gold, etc. This is an Iranian colonial policy that begins with building a shrine. Then it becomes maqam, a high, holy, sacred place. Then they occupy its area under the pretext and justification of defending the shrine and fearing that the Sunni people will be demolishing it. Exactly as they did with the shrine of Zainab in Damascus. Under that pretext, they brought the militias from Afghanistan, from Iraq, from Pakistan, and they occupied Syria. Under this pretext, this is what they will be doing in Lebanon. They will exploit those who died, glorifying their shrine until it becomes a great barih, maqam, sacred place, holy place that they exploit for politics. The Jews occupy the land under the pretext of we're the chosen people of God. But the Iranians occupy the lands under the pretext of protecting the shrines. Did the grave of Ali cost thousands? No. Did they build over it anything? No. Do you know what was the mission of Ali, the cousin of the Prophet? That's in the book of Kafi, the book of the Shi'ah. Volume 6, page 528. He said, the Prophet sent me with the mission. He was the policeman of the Prophet. The Prophet sent him with the mission of demolishing anything that is built over the grave. Check the book. That was the mission of Ali radiallahu anhu. Now, look what they do. If we demolish what is built over the grave, they say, oh, they're taking the corpse. They're demolishing the grave. No, we're not demolishing the grave. We're doing just like what Ali was doing, demolishing what is built over the grave. Islamically, it is not allowed to build anything over the grave, but to let it be just like this size high. The size of a palm. So it will be verified that there's a grave here. That's all. So do the Shia follow the mission of Ali? No. Why? What is the value of that person to build a grave for him which costs something like $50 million? Is he better than the Prophet who was buried in his house? This is the way of the prophets. They are buried where they died. Did Aisha speak to the Prophet 43 years after his death and his grave was in her house? Did she communicate with the Prophet? No. Did she ask him her need? No. Why did Shi'ah do? This is a problem. On the time where people are homeless, displaced in the south of Lebanon, in the south region of Beirut, they have no money. Iran doesn't support those people. Yet, it has the money to spend $50 million on the burial and the grave of this man, Hassan Nasrallah. What was his value? He was a drug gangster, kept a gun. The Shia should think over. It won't be helping you, Shia, to say we belong to the Shia cult. We love the family of the Prophet. The Prophet and his family, they curse those who take the shrines, the graves of people, prophets and righteous people, as places of worship. So how come you're telling me that you belong to the family of the Prophet, while the Prophet and his family curse those who take the grave as places of worship? Let's check quickly. For example, وسائل الشيعة, volume 3, page 210. It is unanimously decided that no one should be building over the grave. And they say this is the madhab, the opinion of the family of the Prophet. And they say, they narrate that As-Sadiq said, one of the grandsons of the Prophet ﷺ, that the Prophet prohibited that a person performs prayer at the grave or builds something over the grave. In the book تذكرة الفقهاء for Al-Hilli, volume 2, page 106, ويكره البناء على القبر إجماعا. It is highly detested building anything over the grave. Ijma'an, unanimously, consensus. Despite that, Al-Majlisi says that yes, there is fully agreement about this, yet we are going against that. We are going against that case. Al-Majlisi said that in his book Bihar al-Anwar, volume 79, page 20. In the book Al-Kafi, 3rd volume, page 228, that Ja'far al-Sadiq, they call him Abu Abdullah, he was asked about building a masjid over the grave and visiting the graves. He said there is nothing wrong with visiting the graves, but it is prohibited to build anything over the grave. I love what Umar said. Umar saw people building a shade over the grave of their father. So he was asking them, what are you doing? They said, we are making a shade over the grave of our beloved father. He said, leave him. He'll be shaded by his deeds. How beautiful is this? He will be shaded by his deeds. His deeds will be shading him. This is Islam. What Shia are doing today is against Islam. This is politics. Iran is using the shrines as a matter of politics. Once a famous person, one of their clerics die, they're happy that he died, and they build a shrine over his grave. This is a political achievement which is against Islam. Ali died. No one until today knows where is his grave. The alleged Ali grave in Iraq is not for Ali. There are proofs that this is the grave, the burial of the companion Al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah. And by the way, the Shia hate Al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah extremely. But they're hanging on his grave, asking him, praying for him, thinking that he's Ali, while he is their enemy, Al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah. Why is it allowed with you to say, oh Ali, while it's not allowed for Christians to say, oh Jesus? It is shirk there, but not shirk here? This is how you let the non-Muslims notice the double standard that you have. You claim you're Muslims, but you're agreeing with the Christians. You're asking the dead just like them asking the dead. So why $50 million for the grave of Hassan Nasrallah? For what? for political achievements. For political achievements. Not for the sake of Islam, not for the sake of Allah. Those who build any kind of building over the grave are cursed. The Prophet said, لعنة الله على اليهود والنصارى. May the curse of Allah be upon the Jews and the Christians. اتخذوا قبور أنبيائهم وصلحائهم مسجدا. Masajid. They took the graves of their own prophets and righteous ones as places of worship, masajid. This is Islam. But the Shi'ah are not on Islam. Especially when they say that the Quran, the book of Allah, is changed. How happy for the Jews and the Christians to hear this from those who claim that they say La ilaha illallah, but it is changed, the book of Allah. La ilaha illallah, but it is changed, the book of Allah. That's what makes the Shia out of the fold of Islam. That's all, folks. Assalamu alaikum.